Before we get to the chapter review, I just want to give a shout out to this video's sponsor, that being Raid Shadow Legend. I'm just kidding. No one would actually sponsor these videos. But I do have an actual announcement to make. I mentioned in a past video that I was working on some other 100 Girlfriends content, and I figured now is a good time to announce it. So here's a quick look. Roll that title card. Yes, I'm going to be tackling a fan dub of the 100 Girlfriends manga. Chapter 1's dub is currently being worked on, and I should hopefully have it done in the next week or two. I'm excited to be organizing and directing this project, and if you're interested in checking it out, consider liking and subscribing to be notified when it launches. Now, on to the review. I'm Moonlight150 from A Slice of Gaming, and this is my quickie chapter review of Chapter 172, the Slender Lady Pigtails Pajama Combo Chapter. Once again, I encourage you to support the official release of the manga, as well as the English fan translations that are being done online. Following what happened in the last chapter, Kasuri still hasn't gotten rid of those failed experiments that kills people if you aren't surrounded by beautiful women, and Rentaro still hasn't learned to not just down random unlabeled drugs. Some habits just die hard, huh? I gotta say though, when I started reading this chapter, just based on the first panel alone, I thought maybe this was like a split timeline kind of thing, where Rentaro only takes one drug and then one of three outcomes happen depending on which one he took. But we, the reader, are seeing all three possibilities in 3 chapters. But no, Ira just kinda deconfirms that as he's just being irresponsible. Also, I just want to add Ira being so distraught over him being sick, I kinda find endearing compared to how Hakari reacted in the previous chapter. These little moments of affection really add a lot. With Rentaro ill yet again, but this time it's a bit different. Instead of running a fever, his muscles are under immense strain, so the remedy needs slender girls in pigtails and pajamas, and a whole lot of relaxing. So it's up to everyone who is under an E-cup but isn't a little girl to cure him. And yes, that sentence is just as ridiculous to say out loud as it is to read. Even the characters in the manga are fed up at this point. Hakari then has an existential crisis that for the first time in her life her G-cups are actually putting her at a disadvantage, and my beloved smug-faced Karine returns. They decide to not return to the Hanazano mansion as it does not exude a downtime relaxing kind of vibe, so they decide to rent out an apartment. Makes sense, I think? We arrive at the rented apartment and we are accompanied in this chapter by Karine, Mimimi, Iko, Uto, Shina, Rin, Mai, Himika, Mei, Ako, and Karumi. It kind of surprises me to see Rin here. Would have totally thought she would fall under the small girl category given her small frame and the fact she is one of the youngest girlfriends, not counting the age-altered ones. Also, this image confirms the theory I had about Shina from a previous video, that her natural default pose has her arms up to her chest. It's an interesting quirk and I wonder if there's any reason behind it. Unlike the previous chapter where everyone shared their homemade get-well remedies, this one emphasizes everyone relaxing in their downtime. So we get a small window into what they're up to when not hanging out with Rentaro and the family. I won't go over all of them because, as I keep saying, I encourage you to go read it for yourself, but I'll go over a couple of my personal favorites, since otherwise this video would be over in the next 30 seconds if I didn't. Himika doubles down on the vanity searching that she established in a previous chapter, as well as adding on that she partakes in watching videos from those she deems as abnormal individuals. I'd be really curious to go through her subscription box. Also, I just gotta say, this face she is making is reaching new levels of smug I didn't even know were possible. And this little exchange between Rentaro and Himika is super sweet, and I don't know why. Maybe because these two haven't had much screen time together since her introduction, but I really like this exchange of dialogue. Mai also reinforces what we knew of what kind of recreational activities she is into that we learned from past chapters, that she's really into stuff like romance novels and shoujo manga. And a newly learned pastime of eavesdropping on Mei? Not creepy at all. Quick tangent, but this really just makes me question Mai's character a bit. Wouldn't someone this into romance be more excited to have a boyfriend like Rentaro? Maybe she only reads girl love stories. Also, isn't it bizarre how I got to talk more about Mai's character in this single page from this chapter than the entirety of Mai's dedicated chapter? Weird. Uto tries to go all philosophical about relaxing, only to be immediately called out by Sheena that she is actually quoting Winnie the Pooh. Look! A certified Sheena appearance! Okay, I'll try to keep the confetti to 1 per video. I also love this look that Uto gives, realizing she's being called out on her bullshit. And I hope this is the beginning of Sheena being a foil to Uto's Chunibyo malarkey. I think that would actually be hilarious. Kurumi is what you expect, movies and games and eating, but something about this image of her with a giant all-day sucker is just haunting to me, and I don't know why. Maybe because I'm so used to her being such the straight man, and seeing her so kawaii is so off-putting. I think it was previously known that Iku is a gamer, but now we just get confirmation that Iku loves those rage-inducing challenges, like Elite Smash, fighting the Wither, and going on genocide runs. She also has to be a Dark Souls fan, right? Sheena is also shown to be a gamer as well, saying she plays Smash Online too, only because playing against CPUs is just too lonely. Immediately followed by a scene that has more red flags than a color guard team, showing off that she likes spending her time talking to a stuffed animal that repeats back to her what she said. We've got another insane one in the group, and I'm here for it. The chapter ends with Rentaro and the group all lazing around on the ground until Mimimi notices that it may be time to start heading home, to where they find Rentaro pulling his best Ashita no Joe impersonation. Thus, next week being the conclusion of apparently the Bad News Drug Trilogy, as the writer puts it, with the small girl hair bun overall chapter. So what's my review? Honestly, I think I may like this a little bit more than the previous chapter, even though the previous chapter had more of my personal favorite characters. The last one was a pretty standard taking care of a sick person kind of chapter story. This one at least offered a small glimpse into these characters personality-wise a bit more, which I always think is a good thing rather than just talking about home remedies. Think I'll save my overall thoughts of this trilogy on the next video once we have the full picture of the entire trilogy of chapters, and see if there's any more to this story. It feels like there will be some kind of payoff joke at the end of all this. And then we can hopefully return to chapters with some kind of actual story behind them, because man is it hard to write reviews for chapters like this. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see future chapter releases, and be notified when the Chapter 1 dub launches. See you all next time.